the Stroke Thrivors podcast, and I'm so glad you're here. Every week, I show up with something I believe was made for one of you. Somebody wants to. Maybe that can be you, and so since you don't want to miss it, subscribe to this podcast. And remember, hit the button and stay in the room. So if you haven't subscribed, that's what you do. So before we get into today's topic, a few quick steps or quick things. If you're new here, you may have known me as the Stroke Folk Show. I've changed the name earlier this year, not because the mission changed, but because the name finally caught up with it. Folk described who you are, but Thrivers describe how you live. And same heart, same purpose. And the old Stroke Folk Show is you can get episodes on my YouTube channel at Stroke Thrivors. That's V as in victory, ORS. So if you haven't subscribed there, come on, subscribe. We'll have a lot of fun. So people keep asking me why I show up this each week. And there's maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe more reasons, but I can give you some honest answers. 3 things come to mind. First, it keeps me sharp because I have to practice. And way back when I was early in my stroke recovery, and I was when I had outpatient in the first year, my speech therapist was graduating me from her program, and she just told me, you got to go out and you got to speak to the public. Then I didn't realize what she meant. This is what she meant. So, 2, when I see something that grabs my attention, I want to share it with you. And so that's why I'm here. And 3rd, this is one of the few places where I can speak honestly on what's on my heart or my mind or both. Way back when, in the internet, early days of the internet, mostly people didn't realize they could do this. But now it's cheap or free, and I get to share with you what's on my mind or heart. All right. If you want more support between episodes, you can get my 2 books and more. I'm working on the 3rd, but the first book is The Stroke Survivors First Aid Kit, and the second is Word Search for a Stroke Recovery Book, Volume 1. Volume 2 will be coming out, and it'll get progressively harder because way back when I was early in my recovery, aphasia was more pronounced. Maybe something people say, no, it's not there, but it is. And I would use these word search books to pair what I would recognize as a word with the word. And if it helps you, go for it. And you can find both of them or by tinyurl.com/stroke-books. And there'll be it'll be for the when I have more books, they'll be on there too. And if you want to wear your you Stroke Thriver proud. So if you want to wear your garb, check out my stroke-inspired designs, 12 or 13 and growing strong. So go to tinyurl.com/stroke-designs. Check it out. If you want a hat, if you want a shower curtain, they're all there. So before we dive into this session, this episode, from a previous session way back when, there's somebody I keep coming back to reinforce with you. Real change only shows up when your words, my words, your body and brain, and your actions all line up the same way, the same direction, not once, not twice, but repeatedly. So that's repetition is where the rewiring happens. That's neuroplasticity at work. And that's where real change lives. And we can hope either had a stroke or maybe not, but the same process exists for all of us. So today's topic costs you nothing. You can do it anywhere. And science behind it is rock solid. It's worth repeating. One of the most research-supported zero-cost tools for stroke recovery, and it fits in your lungs. What? No equipment, no prescription, no co-pays, just a breath, your breath, a count of 4, and about 2 minutes of your time. So here's the informatic or graphic. I stole it from a friend of mine, and I reworked it a little bit because, but basically it, and you can take a screenshot, print it out, but it's the core of it is the box breathing, and I say 4 seconds. You can say others, but 4 seconds inhale through the nose, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds exhale through the mouth, and 4 seconds hold. And you realize that box breathing is that goes through one box or is a cycle. So you repeat the box for 1 to 5 minutes. It's simple. Yes, it is. It's powerful, more than most people realize. See, it's a slow, controlled, rhythmic breathing directly activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the upper left-hand corner, the branch responsible for rest, relaxation, and recovery mode. So it's a huge. So think of it as the off switch for your distress response. So when the system takes over, real measurable things happen. So it's huge. So I'm going to focus on the upper right-hand corner of the health benefits, which you can hope to you can enjoy when you practice box breathing. So I'm going to do the. You can still see me in the little corner, but mostly a focus on the infogram graphic. And so So let's look at the health benefits. Your heart rate drops. Deliberate breathing stimulates the vagus nerve. I have to warn you, I get a little bit geeky because I love this, but hopefully I explain it simply. But the vagus nerve it's one of our cranial nerves, but it runs from your brainstem through your chest and all the way to your abdomen. Vagal activation is one of the most direct ways to a slower, steadier heartbeat. And for stroke thrivors, managing cardiovascular risk factors, that matters. So you lower your heart rate. Your blood pressure lowers. When you activate your parasympathetic system, your blood vessels relax and dilate slightly, reducing the pressure your heart works against them. So a consistent practice can contribute to meaningful reductions in resting blood pressure over time. Huge, because high blood pressure is one of the key risk factors. If you had a stroke, you can have another one if you still have high blood pressure. So next, your cortisol levels fall. So cortisol is a hormone, serves a purpose in short bursts. It's the sympathetic nervous system, the opposite of parasympathetic. So, but chronically elevated cortisol damages your cardiovascular and your immune systems, and critically, your brain. It basically hurts your brain. For stroke thrivors, keeping cortisol in check isn't just about feeling calmer, it's about protecting the recovery environment your brain needs. Huge. All right, let's look at the next. Your focus sharpens. And so box breathing increases oxygen flow to the prefrontal cortex, the front of your brain, the region responsible for attention, decision making, and executive function. All of those things can be damaged in a stroke. That's precisely the area that often takes a hit. Yes, after a stroke, which I just said. A steady, oxygen-rich environment is one of the simplest things you can do for cognitive recovery. Huge. All right, next is your immune function improves. Huge. Chronic distress suppresses immune activity, and box breathing interrupts that suppression, with research linking slow, controlled breathing to improved immune markers and reduced inflammation. That's important. So for brain working hard to heal, it's not a small thing, it's a really a big thing. So in the last thing, your digestion gets better. So the vagus nerve runs through your digestive tract. When the parasympathetic nervous system activates, blood flow to your digestive organs increases and gut motility improves. Relevant for many thrivers who deal with digestive disruption during recovery. So there you know, it's huge. So chronic distress is after a stroke is real common and compounds everything: anxiety, grief, frustration, which all goes along with stroke. Those aren't just emotional experiences; they're physical experiences. So remember, If you have elevated cortisone levels, increased inflammation, disrupted sleep, and slowing your brain's recovery. But box breathing lets you interrupt the distress response deliberately on your terms anytime you need it, just by taking the box breathing. So this is also a matter of agency, a big fancy word, but one of the hardest parts of recovery is feeling like your body is no longer fully yours to direct. When you have to be in appointments from doctors, therapists, crazy. But box breathing hands some of that control back to you. So 4 seconds, you count, you lead, your nervous system follows. So huge. And the counting itself is a mindfulness anchor. It keeps your mind from spiraling and gives your brain a focused, low-stakes task. That quiet, repetitive focus is neurologically useful. It's not just a distraction, it's a gentle, structured mental engagement. And that's the reason that the U.S. Navy SEALs have used this technique for decades. When your nervous is in overdrive, box breathing delivers. So if it does for the SEALs, it can work for you. So how to start? So you can find a comfortable position, lie down on your bed or a couch, or sit up in a chair, and but breathe normally for a minute or so, and notice your baseline. So if your chest rises, but your stomach stays flat, you're shallow breathing. So if your stomach rises while your chest does, that's good. You're reaching a full, deep breath. That's what activates the full relaxation response. And way back when, relaxation response was written about it by Dr. Benson in the Harvard Medical School many eons ago. So begin the 4-count cycle and aim for about 30 seconds. So you can work. You can increase the count. For example, I usually use 6, but if 4 seconds feels too hard, do it 2, so or 3, but you build from there. So I do this box breathing most days as part of my morning meditation. I've been doing that for 3 or 4 years now. So, so let's start at 4, stay consistent, and let the practice grow. So I'm going to give the infographic back, and again, either take a screenshot, print it out on your computer if you're doing that. If you've got a iPad, you can set up so there can be a way that you can do a screenshot easily. So probably there is some way with the Android tablet, but it's huge. So this infographic included maps out all 4 phases visually, with the health and your soul and your spirit. Even if you don't believe in that, it still helps. And share it with your care team. Put it on your fridge. but do it. All right. All right. And remember, box breathing is just one of the practical tools I cover in the Stroke Survivors First Aid Kit. If you're looking for a plain language guide that's built specifically for where you are in your recovery, your loved one is in his or her recovery, or someone that you provide care for, grab your copy at tinyurl.com/stroke-books. We'll get you everything. Book will give you a Stroke Survivor First Aid Kit. All right. In gratitude and grit, remember you're a thriver, and that's V as in victory, ORS. All right. Thriver is without the S. Thrivers is with the S.